He's landing a spaceship, and I'm like, I'm just gonna sing this 3 times.
Hymne.
I think we're right on the cusp of something. I just don't know. I just don't know how much longer, you know? So it is March 2nd. It's March 2nd. It's exciting. And we're in Franklin, Tennessee. We got here last night around 6:30 and we went to Cheddar's and we watched 50 First Dates, and that's about everything that happened. We were tired. Anyway, slept terribly. Got up about 6 o'clock because I just gave up trying to sleep, I think. And now it's 9 o'clock and we're going to downtown Franklin because Seth has never been here before. And I wanted to show him the Frothy Monkey where they have the coffee. So we gotta probably be pretty fast about it too, because we gotta get on the road about 9:30 to get to Spring Hill and record at Robert's new place. So we're meeting Tori for lunch and we are done at Robert's. Hopefully we get to hang out with him later today or early tomorrow morning, because I have a meeting with somebody else potentially, which would be really, really awesome for the business. And Seth just got to see us finish up one of the songs. What did you think?
It was cool.
It was boring, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of underwhelming when you hear the whole product and then you're like, I wonder how they made it, and then you realize it's the easiest thing ever. For me anyway. He's doing all the cool stuff. He's up there with his
It's easy for you.
he's landing a spaceship, and I'm I'm just gonna sing this 3 times. I think the biggest thing that I struggle with is the idea that this is forever. This song will be after I'm dead, it'll be still there, you know? And I don't want myself, I tell him sometimes I'm oh, I said start weird. I said it weird. I was struggling with the word start because I'm I know that 20, 30, 50 years from now, I might listen, if I'm still here, listen back and be oh my gosh, why didn't I fix that? So it's it's so much pressure over the silliest things, especially today, because we weren't recording the whole song. It wasn't I couldn't obsess over every single word. I had to change one word in the verse because it made more sense that way, and it's been sitting on my heart for months, years even, thinking okay, no, that's not the right word. And I changed one word and it changed the entire message of the song. And then the new bridge, which was a lot more technical. There's a belting part, and so I wanted to make sure I got that right. So I did my vocal warm-ups and stuff, but just specifically little things that I say and how I say it is the difference between being considered a folk pop Americana artist or a country artist. Or a British artist, because apparently Start was coming out. Start. You are awesome for taking me. Thanks for driving 8 hours.
You're welcome.
And then driving 8 hours tomorrow.
You're welcome.
And dropping me off with a friend instead of hanging out with me today.
You're welcome.
This is the man right here. The man of my dreams. I do feel okay, so it took probably a total of 20 minutes to get all of the rest of the little vocals in. Maybe not even that, because we were just goofing off in between takes. But I feel the rest of it, we got there at 10 o'clock, and it is now almost 1. And I feel I went to therapy, because all the thoughts in my head of the past year with the pandemic and getting so close to maybe getting signed and then that falling through because of the pandemic, just so much has happened that it's nice to talk to someone who's been a part of the project too and to see his face when I explained like all the things that I went through, to like feeling super crazy for being just so ambitious in a time of everybody shutting down, and getting his 2 cents on if we need to release this song independently or if we need to really try for a record deal right now because things are opening back up. And anyway, he's in the world, like he's in this world with me, and he's in this world even more so than I am because he does this more full time than I do, and it's nice to hear from somebody with that kind of experience and understanding of the feeling of being crazy and not ambitious when you feel like your entire industry doesn't even matter right now. So anyway, he wants to connect me with a few people if they're available this week. I hate that we're only here for one day, really, and then we have to get back in the car tomorrow. But Seth has to start his job on Thursday, so I'm praying for a breakthrough. And I prayed for a breakthrough at the beginning of this week that like I'm really on the edge, and that feels like, I say that all the time. Being a musician, you're like, you live like on the edge of feeling like nothing you do matters, but at the same time everything you do matters, which makes no sense to say.
Makes no sense, but it makes absolutely perfect sense.
Yeah. To feel like my song could be the thing that people prayed for. My song could be the thing that people really needed in this time. It could find them at just the right moment before they do something that they can't take back, or at just the right moment when they're asking God for a sign. I know that at the end of the day, when I'm long gone, this song could still be ministry. I mean, Nothing On Me came out and it didn't do well for a while, and then suddenly it did well, and people were like, I needed to hear this. And I think I take it very seriously because that's happened to me many times. Like the perfect song gets played at just the right time when I'm feeling like God doesn't see me or know me or has a plan for my life. And Jeremiah 29:11 is my life verse of, for I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you, not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. And that seems to be the number one thing that gets attacked in me the most, is this idea that I don't have hope in my future, or I don't have anything prosperous lined up for me in a thing that God called me to. I would have quit so long ago. I would have quit so much. I mean, like at 15 when I started this and I found out it was going to be a big freaking uphill climb with a possible chance of falling down a few different times and getting banged up and maybe not even making the top. This industry is so cutthroat and so hard. And it, especially in the Christian side of things, you're not only feeling this pressure from the world, but you're feeling the spiritual warfare because you're writing something that matters. And so you can even find yourself playing this game, playing the industry game of being like, oh, well, I have to write for radio. I have to write because this is what the message is in the world. Instead of just writing what God tells you to write and being okay with the fact that it might not get played on radio because it's not a super popular opinion or it's not what the world could accept right now. I'm just going off on a tangent, but I feel like it matters. So talking to Robert and my whole heart was this week just like, God, if you want me to keep going, I need another pep talk. Like I need another thing, because I don't ask for a lot of like confirmation. Usually it's just like, God told me to do it 9 years ago. God told me to write this song 5 years ago. This song was recorded 3 years ago. Or these songs are still speaking to me even. Like I listened to some of the songs that are coming out this year and like they resonate with me. They're my own, like I'm my own cheerleader sometimes. The songs are they're my cheerleaders, and I struggle with feeling alone in this industry because I don't have a team. I don't have a label, and I'm, for the most part, doing this alone. I have Robert and I have Seth. Robert actually does stuff. Seth is just here. He takes me to Nashville. He's the chauffeur. But for the most part, I'm giving you a big old glimpse behind the curtain here. I am doing everything, and it hurts. It's hard. It feels like it's totally unprompted, and I'm a crazy person for trying, you know? How many people are gonna buy a sweatshirt like this? I designed it. I mean, I didn't design, I have a friend who actually designed it, but I asked her to design something for me. I put it on a t-shirt. I figured out the account situation. I'm still working on the shipping situation so people can buy it. And then at the end of the day, no one could care. Like, one person could buy it, and that could be my mother, you know? So it's the least rewarding job, and it's heartbreaking, and you have to really know where God has put you in it. And so this week I'm just asking for confirmation from God, because like, if he tells me to stop, I will gladly stop. It would actually take less effort for me to stop right now than it would to keep going. But I also know he's maybe not called me to be famous, but he's called me to keep writing. Maybe I will have a song out that hits someone's heart. Maybe it's already happened, that I've hit someone's heart and they were about to kill themselves. They were about to self-harm. They were about to do something that they couldn't take back. And I guess at the end of the day, I'm supposed to be a cheerleader for you guys. And anyway, it's just really hard. It's hard, and having another person on this project with me, if I was my own producer too, it would be really awful, honestly. The sound wouldn't be as good because Robert's a pro, but also to be completely alone with the creation of this process would be just so devastating for me. So if you see this and you are a artist, know that I understand and I resonate with you, and I'd love to create a community where we can talk about this kind of stuff and it not be like a comparison game of like, well, I got signed, well, I got blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not that. It should just be a community where it's like, guys, it's hard on all ends. It's hard when you're famous and you have all of these people who care, and it's hard when nobody cares. It's hard all the time, and to not have anyone to talk to about it and who could understand is hard. So I've been fortunate enough to know a few people in my life who have kind of been on the same journey in different ways. They have different resources than I do. Maybe they are farther along than I am, but we've been doing this together, just kind of like side by side in our own different worlds. And Tori is one of those people, so I'm really excited to see Tori. Her official stage name is Tori Harper. She's been my best friend in this music crazy industry for about 10 years now. We met at Camp Electric one year, 2013, and I'm just being so real right now. I'm just still in the zone with talking to Robert. But anyway, I'm praying for breakthrough this week, and I think maybe even just that conversation with Robert, just the spirit of Nashville normally is crushing for a lot of artists, because it's like, oh, I'm just a little fish in a big pond. It always just gives me kind of a breath of fresh air, and it's always been like that for me in the past 10 years that I've been coming here in spurts between Camp Electric and coming here for recording stuff and meeting people. It's like its own encourager even. So I'm really excited to see Tori. I'm really happy I had a good conversation with Robert, and I think we're right on the cusp of something. I just don't know how much longer, you know. This is the factory. Well, this is the back of the factory. What do you think?
I like it.
This is where I think we're gonna eat. Oh my gosh.
You good, Courtney?
I think I can put it right there, yeah. Fading. Do we like that better than hoping? Let's go higher. So cute.
Instead of being small in a broken way, it's small in like a peaceful, restful way.
Like the waiting is actually okay. Like
Yeah. But does it?
It doesn't feel the same.
Ooh.
That's grammatically incorrect,
I
but
know,
I like
but
it.
it works better.
Mm.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
gonna
What
hit
if it's
someone.
like waiting?
way.
Very him.
Him. Who? Him. Him. I love how you were trying to pronounce the N. Him.
Him.
Him. Tori being a producer, part 1. Look at that. Look, you know what you're doing.
Kind of.
It's March 3rd, and we're heading home today, but we actually got a meeting with a publishing director, creative director at a publishing firm. And I'm really excited about it because there's a potential of a job involved, and that would mean a lot of things for my music career. So anyway, just documenting it, but I'm really excited. So we're an hour behind because the meeting went way longer than we thought. And it wasn't my fault. I wasn't the one talking most of the time. So I'm like proud of myself because I would be the one who would hold everyone up usually. It went well. I think that I made a good connection to the business publishing, copyright world that I can trust, because most of the people that I talk in that world, like I know of people in that world, are just they're pencil pushers. They don't think outside the box, and I think this guy does. He literally teaches a class in this, whole thing, and so he seems really invested. I don't know how much power he has. I don't know how much anyone has right now with the world still being shut down for the music world and it feeling so hopeless, but there's hope. I just don't know how it's going to happen. I think that just gives a lot of opportunity for God to do amazing things. The guy was wearing a Tribeca t-shirt, which was funny because that felt like a sign to me, because I would go to Tribeca every summer to Camp Electric, and it was just kind of like, it comes full circle. The place that breathes life into me when I was feeling really depleted when I was a kid and wanted to do this thing called music, still shows up even when I'm an adult, and I'm struggling through the business side of the music industry, which is just the thing that takes away from the fun of this job. But I think it's a good connection. I think it was a God connection. So I'm glad we came here. I'm glad we drove 8 hours just to turn around and drive 8 hours back 2 days later. I wrote a song with Tori. I recorded with Robert. We're really close to finishing this EP. And I think we have a good little team of people looking for holes in the industry that we can release this EP and it be somewhat successful. So it's been a couple weeks since this trip, and it's been super. A lot of things have happened since then, but you'll catch up with other vlogs. I do want to speak to the encouragement that I asked the Lord to give me, and I think it's really sweet. Literally on the drive home, I got an email from a representative at a company called 31 Bits, and it is a ethically sourced jewelry company. The wording of the email was just so, it was just the cherry on top. I was already really encouraged. I felt like the Lord was speaking through my friend Tori when we co-wrote, through Robert, through, this meeting with this guy, and I saw God was just showing up. But This was just the cherry on top because they reached out and said they saw my Instagram story. I'm not on any, influencer pages or whatever. I don't think I've done really hardly anything on that end of things. So usually when people reach out like that, it goes to spam, and it's kind of a miracle I saw this email in the first place. But they just said, basically, we like your page. Like, we think you would be a great fit for this, company to, we love what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing. And they said you can pick 4 things from this link, and it's like a link to their shop, and we'll send it to you for free and with no strings attached, which is just so uncommon. That's why it usually goes to spam, because it's like you have to pay for it, and I'm like, well, I wasn't going to buy it in the first place, and it's not even a company I even think is that great. But this company I researched, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love them. They have women in Bali making these jewelries and jewelries, and their mission is just so beautiful. Everything is just so beautiful. Their spirit, their products, everything. And so I picked some things, and I was like, on the off chance that they actually send it to me, I'll take that as a sign from God. Well, like 4 days later, I get them in the mail, and I'm only wearing one right now. This is just one of the things that I got. I got 2 necklaces, and then this is actually a set. It has 2 other stacked rings that I have downstairs. And every time I look at it, I just remember, like, it just like is God being like, I'm with you. I see you. I love you. And I'm like, it's so sweet. So I never go a day without wearing my rings, and the jewelry, or like the necklaces, are so cute. I love styling them for when I actually put on makeup and clothes. But that, I just thought I should share that, because like, if you're struggling with feeling like the Lord doesn't see you, you are 100% allowed to ask your Father in heaven to show up. By not praying that, you're limiting him. I mean, like, you're kind of creating a limit for him of like, he wouldn't show up, he wouldn't do that. But he will. He loves you, and he loves to surprise you. And so I learned that from this trip, that like, he really likes to go above and beyond, exceedingly abundantly. And so I just wanted to end this vlog with that, because it was so cool. If you want updates on the project because something resonated with you about this video, the whole EP is super awesome, and I think it'll speak to a lot of you. I encourage you to go to my website here and sign up for my email list, because I don't spam you, but it does give you direct, a direct line to when I announce new products coming out. Also, I host workshops for songwriting. I am trying to create that community that I talked about of writers and artists who need a support system. So I'm always thinking of ways to create a community like that, where you can be yourself and have other people see you. So just go and click the link down below and sign up for my email list, and like and subscribe if you like this video.